All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to our Hard Times Hog Farm Gameplay Series. I am the Ultra Farmer, and right now I am standing in front of the Riverbend Springs Bank in Waseca County, Minnesota, where I just signed my life away on a brand new hog farm. Well, it's not really a brand new hog farm. It's actually pretty beat up, pretty worn down. It's filled with garbage. There's old harvesters and old broken down, rusted out cars everywhere, a questionable outhouse, but we have a farm, or we have a farmhouse rather. We've got a plot of land, we've got an old hog barn, and we got a set of grain silos. And we're gonna head up to the farm real quick. I'm gonna drive up there and I'll show you guys everything. I just want to go through a couple things right now while we are by the bank, so we can kind of go through and I'll kind of explain a few things of how this gameplay series is gonna go and where we're kind of at. So let's rip the band-aid off real quick here. Let's hop into our finances and go. Okay, we are 300,000 bucks in the hole, and we've got 170,000 to our name right now. This 170,000 is actually coming to us from our Hutan Pantai Gameplay Series, where we've just got back from Eastern Asia. We had a big farm operation out there. We made about 2.5 million bucks, but we got destroyed with the conversion rate coming back to the States, and we were basically left with 170 grand. Now, I put that 170 grand up as kind of like collateral a little bit to get a down payment on our farm, on our new plot of land. Now, this plot of land, like I said, cost us 300 grand. I'm going to show you on the map which one we got down here. We've got plot number 5 here. So let me just go out of that. We basically get all this kind of treed area around here, right to this road that leads into the farm. We have a field, which compared to these other fields looks quite small, but it's actually a decent sized field. It isn't super small. Just these other fields are huge, so it looks a little deceiving. On the farm, we have a house, we have a hog barn, and we got a set of grain silos. We have a couple of things that are there that kind of increase the value. The value of this property was at 261, but with the hog barn, with the silos that were on there, we got a little slip tank on there for some fuel, which helps. It came with a pressure washer and a little kind of station to help us do some repairs on our tractors and stuff. So we basically had to finance that for 300 grand. And the only other thing I have to my name is this truck behind us. This old kind of green drum truck. But I'm gonna get fired up and let's head back to the farm. And yeah, I'll kind of explain a few things as we're going to the farm. So as I'm pulling through here, here is where we will get all of our used equipment and our brand new equipment. Wherever we do have access to that forklift, it just kind of stays at the unit there, but we have access to it. We can get fuel and stuff here, although we do have a fuel station at our farm. So we probably won't be coming up here to get fuel too much, but this is kind of the main downtown area here of Riverbend, and it's a very long road to get to our farm from here. There's not really like it's short as the crow flies, but to take the roads, it's pretty far. But that'll give us some time to kind of explain a few aspects of this gameplay that I'm gonna role play. So we are we're trying to build a hog farm. We're trying to build and see how much money that we can make from pigs. We're in crushing debt, basically on the edge of bankruptcy, but we got a little bit of cash. We got 170 grand. The only problem is we have no equipment. I mean, other than this truck, which can't do too much farming with this truck, but we have no equipment. And the bank said that I'm actually approved for a $400,000 loan at the bank, but it was 300 for the plot of land and stuff. I'm trying not to run in the ditch there. So I kind of technically have access to another 100 grand, but I don't want to touch it because we're already going to be getting killed with interest as is. So I don't really want to pour any more fuel on that fire if we can help it. We might get into a situation where we need that money, and I'll kind of explain why. So what I'm going to kind of do is set some rules for myself on this gameplay series. Some of the rules I kind of use on my other series because I kind of like them, and there's going to be some new ones that I kind of put on this series. So the first rule that I have for myself is we can do contracts to help us make some money, but we must own the equipment if for the contract that we're going to do. So we can't just go borrow the equipment from the stores to complete any contracts. We have to own the equipment. Um, and I say own the equipment because another kind of rule that I'm going to set for myself, just to make this a little more challenging, is in Waseca County, where we are, where we've bought this farm, there is no way that we can rent or lease equipment. I've kind of made a rule that I can't lease any equipment. I'm going to have to buy everything that I need or that we need to make this farm go. There's no just kind of going to rent a trailer and then returning it to the store. I have to buy everything. Now, the only caveat to that is I have the ability to finance some things. So if we get into a bind, we might be able to finance something and pay for it over. Oh, that guy was flying. Was that guy not flying? Oh my God, Waseca County. Jeez Louise, there's school buses around here, my guy. Whoa. Okay, sidetrack. Yes. We can do some sort of financing if we need, like if we have to pay for something over a period of time, but in the end we do have to buy everything. So there's no leasing equipment and we have to own the equipment if we're going to do any of the contracts. That's kind of a rule I put in most of my gameplay series. Okay, here's one of the neighbors' farms. Okay, we're getting close. We're getting real close. Oh my God, am I getting past? Jeez. Okay. People drive fast out here. All right, here's our farm. That is our field, which looks rough to say the least. So we definitely got some work to do. We definitely got this field was just like left to die. As you can see, it was just left to die. But it's a decent sized field. Again, it's not huge, but it's not the smallest field. It's probably like 4 or 5 acres maybe. But here's the farm. We've got some rusted out cars to the one side. We've got an old combine sitting over here, which we're going to have to get cleaned up. We do, part of the closing deal with the realtors is there is going to be a truck coming out here to load up some of this old garbage and old scrap steel. Some of it we have to deal with. However, I did talk to him. There's a pile of garbage back over here that, like, there's an old garbage bin and stuff, and it's gonna get cleaned out. People are gonna come clean this out for us because I told them, I was like, if I'm paying 300 grand for this plot, like, we got to get some of this garbage cleaned out of here. Like, I'm not just leaving, one man's trash. It's not two treasures, is what I'm thinking. So this is our farm. We've got a barbecue, which I'm definitely keeping. And we got this little farmhouse, an outhouse over there, which, yeah, it is what it is. We've got a set of grain silos here, which is actually really great. They'll hold quite a bit. There's our fuel tank, and then let's go to this mode here. Here's our hog barn. So go right in through here. Here's one of the stalls for the hogs, and then if we open these doors, we have access to the big back kind of pig pen, pigsty area. And this is a huge fenced area. It comes all the way basically to the edge of our property line. I'm just gonna run up this hill a little bit. You can see how far back this goes. So we're gonna be able to hold a ton of pigs in here, a whole bunch. Eventually, we have 0 pigs right now, but eventually we will get a whole bunch in here. So let's go back out. Um, we'll just leave these doors open for now since nothing can get out. And then all through here, we have, it's just like kind of like a big shed area, which is just nice. We'll be able to store some equipment whenever we end up buying it. Um, but yeah, this is basically it. This is our farm. We've got, like I said, this old house, a beat up field, a very beat up field, garbage everywhere, and a decent set of silos, a decent set of silos. So one thing that we got to do is we got to get some of this garbage cleaned up, and then we've got to figure out what we're going to be doing for equipment. We need to get a tractor for sure, and we got to start planning out what we're going to do with this field, which we obviously got to get it cleaned up and cultivated for the field or for the fall. But we need to go through and see if what's going to be available in the stores. We're going to have to really look through the stores to get some deals. Another nice thing about Waseca County out here is their used vehicle kind of market is way better than most maps. Like if you look through here, I got a whole bunch of different options for used equipment, and they also have the ability, since I'm not able to rent anything out here, if I was to come in and say we wanted, let's just say we wanted this tractor, I can ask the dealership to try and find me a used one. And for a fee, if I pay a fee, they'll search around over the next, year or 3 months or 1 month and try and find us a used piece of equipment. But it'll cost us a fee for them, kind of like a search fee. So that's kind of a neat option that they have out here to really help kind of small farm startup. You don't have to go buy brand new equipment, so their used vehicle kind of like lot and inventory is it's quite good. So another few things here before we get going on cleanup. Let's go through just some of the settings so that you can see what we're playing on. I'm gonna go back to game settings. Okay, so seasonal growth is on. Definitely be leaving seasonal growth on. I got days per month at 1 for right now. No fixed visuals. I had the snow turned off, but I'm going to turn the snow back on. Basically, all the settings for our crops I have on, except for field stones. I don't usually do any of my series where I play with field stones on. It's just not something I ever usually do. But everything else is on. We got lime on. Weeds will be on. Periodic plowing and crop destruction. Our disaster destruction is enabled. Dirt, I usually leave on normal. This is just settings I like to play with. And the fuel usage I have set to high. So we really got to be watching our fuel. Hopefully we don't run out of fuel. I've done that before. And then obviously all our AI workers, they are not able to buy anything. They have to we have to go pick stuff up. And another nice thing, since the store is so far away, when I was talking to the guys in there, they will deliver equipment and implements or supplies out to our farm. However, they charge a 2.5% delivery fee, which sometimes might be handy to use. I think we might use that a little bit to get the farm set up. Get them to deliver a combine or something to us would probably be pretty nice, but it's very difficult. I'm just gonna go into this mode real quick here so you can see. There's no clear road. The store is right here, and where we just drove, we had to come all the way down here, all the way back to get to the store. This is like a big rock cliff. This road, it's not super, like this is all trees here. It's not actually a road. I don't want to don't want to plow through Buddy's yard, so to get to the stores, we might have to kind of sneak in around here. It's going to be a little tricky, so using their delivery system might be pretty helpful. Other than that, I don't really know if we're going to be doing too much with bales. There may be some trailers with an auto load feature that I might use. I might be using super strength every now and then just to kind of get us out of a jam, but for the most part, we're not really going to be needing anything like that. Another rule that I'm going to set just when it comes to making money, just to keep the challenge a little bit more difficult, as I obviously didn't say either, our economic difficulty is set to hard. Sorry, I kind of skipped over that part. But our economic difficulty is set to hard. Obviously, it's the Hard Times Hog Farm Gameplay Series, so one little added thing to make it a bit more challenging is I'm not gonna allow myself to make any money directly from silage. I say directly because part of what I want to do with this gameplay series that we're gonna be able to make money from the hogs is gonna be with their slurry and their manure. So ideally, I would like in the future for us to have some sort of a biogas production facility. Now, sometimes those facilities will also take in silage and then can be produced into like methane or electrical charge and stuff. So potentially in the future, maybe I would make silage to put in a production facility. But as for just going and planting this field out here in grass, cutting it, baling it, wrapping it, and then just go and selling off those silage bales, like I'm not going to directly make money from silage. I I do it in a lot of other gameplay series. It's a good way to help get you started because it's kind of easy. It's a cheap way, like the implements and stuff. It's a cheap way to make money. And so I just don't want to do that. I want to keep it quite challenging. And yeah, so the garbage trucks are going to come out. They're going to clean up this garbage and some of the debris and stuff around here, and then we're going to go shopping. We're going to go try and figure out a plan for tractors, implements, see what the used store will have, like what they have for used equipment, and then we'll get working on that field, trying to get something prepped. I'm thinking we're gonna have to try and plant something this fall. Really, our only option is going to be wheat or barley or potentially canola. Other than that, we might be waiting till the spring. It's all going to depend what we can get in the stores. So I'm going to let those garbage trucks comes out here. I'm just going to be kind of meeting and chatting with them while they get everything cleaned up. And I'll bring you back and we'll go shopping for some equipment. Okay, I'm just pulling into the farm here. I'm just kind of backing this truck into the barn here. Shut this thing off, jump out, and let's just go for a little walk around here. So maybe I'll jump into this mode to make it a little bit easier. The boys came in. They cleaned up all this garbage that had been left behind. They said they weren't touching the outhouse, which I don't blame them. They loaded up a bunch of garbage kind of on the side over here. They had to leave these containers because we don't know what's in them, so they didn't really know how to dispose of it. But they took the old combine and the cars that were up here, and actually we got paid for it. The scrap steel, you make a little bit of money on it. You get so much per ton, and so we got 138 bucks for it. So I mean, we've accomplished an important step in the farm, and that is to start making some money. And it's only been, 10 minutes into owning the land, which is not too bad. So our next step. So I want to kind of go through what I want to kind of hit for milestones over the next little bit. One milestone is I want us to start getting some pigs. The next milestone is I want us to be able to start making our own pig food. And then the third milestone is going to be using all the slurry and the manure that we capture to put into some sort of biogas, some sort of production facility that we can make energy from, make money from, whether it's methane or electrical charge. And then the fourth one is going to be repay all of our debts. So, and the fourth one we're going to try and do as we do the three, if that makes sense. Every time we get a little bit extra cash, we're going to start putting it into paying back our loan. So the first step, I really want to get some pigs, and because the sooner that we get them, the sooner they'll start growing in there, and then they'll get to their gestation periods or their reproduction periods rather, and they'll just start having offspring, and we won't have to buy a bunch. But before we can do that, we have to be able to feed them. And before we can feed them, we have to do something with this field out here. Now, it's August right now, so my initial thought is that we try and get something and probably plant wheat, because I know the pigs will eat wheat. I mean, we could also do barley next month if we want, or canola. If I go into, we'll just go into this mode right there and we'll look. We'll go into our pigs. This is what we had. They'll eat corn, sorghum, barley and wheat, soybeans, canola, sunflowers, potatoes. What's that? Sugar beet, carrots, parsnips, red beet, and pig food. So we have a lot of options of what we can kind of do this fall in that field. Or we just wait and we get it prepped and we do something in the spring. What's going to kind of determine everything is what we can buy. And we can't buy much because 170 grand really isn't that much money. I know we've got access to a little bit more, to up to, technically we have access up to 270, but we need to go to the store and we need to start looking at used equipment because we can't afford anything brand new. Now, while the boys were loading up garbage, I came in here and I was kind of looking, and what is interesting is this. There is a combine in here with a set of headers, which I think we have to buy. I think we have to buy it because we'll never, I don't know, the next time we'll see a combine. Like more will come through, but this is a pretty good deal. 37,000 for a combine. It'll hold 5,600 liters. That's not that much, but you know what? We don't have much of a field to really worry about. So I'm thinking this is what we have to buy. I know this is what we have to buy. Customize it yellow. Yeah, we get nothing. We have to buy this. I'm just going to buy it. 37,000. Not too bad. Honestly, these are 4 meters wide. Again, that's not really great, but 13 grand for a set of headers. Like, we're just not gonna worn out. Yeah, look, I can save us 150 bucks right there. What's this? I don't care about any of that. It's $0. 13,748. I already was looking at these. We basically have to buy those. We don't have any choice in the matter. Now the next thing that we need is a tractor. Now there's this tractor in here, which is 230 horse. Actually, believe it or not, it's in here twice, just different hours. Or it was in here twice. Oh yeah, it's right here. But I don't think we can afford that. I don't think we can afford that. I was looking through and I seen this guy. It's got 44 hours on it. It's 24,000. That gets us a 100 horse tractor. We could, we could sneak it to 115 for an extra 2 grand, which might not be the worst idea. And this might be what we have to do because I really just don't think I don't think we're going to be able to do kind of anything else. We don't really have any other option. Our only other option is if we go in and we buy something in the medium tractors, like something like this. We're paying 60 grand brand new for 160 horse. I would honestly think we just wait and hope that something like this comes on sale in the future, one of these two, or maybe even a better sale on this. This could go on sale. Even this is probably too much horsepower than we would need, but maybe we would get a good deal on that in the future, or some of these John Deeres that, like, if this went on sale, it would be pretty good. Another reason why I think this tractor, even though it's only 100 horse, is going to be the option is it does have, where is it? Attachments. It has front loader attachments on it, these quick front attachments. So if we do get some straw bales to put in our pig pen for bedding, we could move them around with this. So I'm thinking I'm going to sneak an extra couple 15 horse on there for 2 grand. I don't know. Should we change the color of it? John Deere yellow. Maybe we'll go. Like our combine's yellow, so maybe we what's this? Oh, that's too bright. Yeah, I think we go with something like that. Keep her nice, and it doesn't even really matter. We're not going to spend any more money on that. So again, I think we have to buy this. 26,000 bucks. What's it with the full? Ooh, 31. We can always upgrade the horsepower after if we have to. So let's just do it like that for right now. Okay. So now we have the combine. We need a planter. So again, as I look through all this, that's a pretty cheap baler, but we can get a baler for 12 grand if we need brand new. Which is kind of what I was thinking to go do that contract, but we can think about that after. What we can do is we can wait to get a set of rollers and just not roll our field after we plant it. It's not the best practice. We're going to lose out on a little bit of yield bonus, but until we start getting some money going, we could wait on buying a roller. Cultivator for 12 grand. It's only 3 meters wide, but it is 110 horse. So we need something to clean that field off. Part of me is thinking we need to buy this planter because 16,000, even if we don't plant corn right now and we do it in the future or soybeans, I think this is going to be something that we're going to need to have. We need this if we're going to make pig food. If we make pig food, we need to have basically 3 elements. We need to have corn, and then we need to have some sort of a grain like wheat or barley or something like that. And then we need something also like soybeans or sunflowers. So I think we have to buy this planter. What's that? I don't really know what that is right now. Planting markers, we don't need any of that. I'm just going to leave this what it is because if we have to make any changes, we could also. That was at 0. I'm just going to leave it. Can we make it a cool color? I don't, you know what? I honestly, what was it? Was it that? We'll just leave it, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. So we have a planter. Okay. 74,000. Now we need a set of cultivators or something to clear that field off. Yeah, sorry. And one thing I didn't mention, this only requires 90 horsepower to pull it. These rollers need 140 horse. We probably could squeak it away with those, but again, we might just have to not roll fields a little bit here till we get going. Corn headers would be nice, but we can wait to do that. What we need to go look at is something to cultivate the fields or disc. 9 grand for this set of cultivators. I think that's the ones we're going to have to get. They require 110 horse. It's really going to be our only option. These will require 130. Yeah, I already know that these are going to be what we need to get. Okay. 65 grand left. Okay. Another thing that we're going to need in the future is something to fertilize, but we can get this for 2 grand, or there's a bunch of options in here that we can do, and that'll also do lime. So I'm going to wait till we kind of do that. What I think I got to do, let's jump up here. Let's fire this up. Not bad. Like, I think that was pretty good for what we got. Again, like, yeah, these headers are kind of small, but whatever. Like, we got this set up for like under 50 grand, or it was just about 50 grand. It was like 13,000 and whatever. We'll never get something like this ever again. Probably this good of a deal. That's just lucky in the store. It'd have been nice if we could have found a little bit bigger of a tractor, but also there's a cliff here. So this is the way I think we got to go back to the farm. It's going to be the quickest. Our farm is just over those trees, and I don't want to run through this guy's field, so I'm just going to cruise around it and get it to the farm. So what I'll do to save you from me driving back and forth right now, I'm going to get everything back to the farm real quick, and then what we'll do is we'll kind of just plan out our next little bit. We've got 65,000 left. In my mind, before I let you go, what I'm thinking is we need to buy a seeder, which I know I can get one new for 12 grand. I know that. And I know we can get a round baler for 12 grand. And that, again, that's brand new. And we could go do a contract that would make us 30. So it would pay for that round baler, and it would pay for half of the tractor ish. Because if I'm looking here, I was looking, there's a round baling contract. This would take a minute, but it's 32,000. That's square bales. We don't have that. This round baling contract is right by our farm. We could make an extra 5 grand. Same with fertilizing. I will end up getting a fertilizer spreader, and I'll probably take our truck back up there. Ooh, maybe not. I'm not too sure how I'll do it, but I'll get a bunch of fertilizer and stuff brought to the farm, and we could go do, like, this one's right by our farm, right by the farm. This one's just up the road. This one, they're all right here, right? So we get like a good, almost 25,000 bucks just from that right there. We could do one of these contracts, although it'd be a little bit of work. But regardless, I got kind of a plan for us to be crafty over the next little bit to do contracts. Hopefully then we can pay for like a lot of the stuff we just bought, and then we can get back to trying to buy some pigs and really start getting our own pig food created and yada yada yada. Okay, so I'm gonna do what I said. I'm gonna keep getting all this stuff back to the farm, and I'll bring you back in just one sec. Just pulling back up to the farm here. I got everything hauled back. Not too bad, not too bad at all. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna jump back in here, and let me just do something real quick here. Yeah, okay, sorry. So yeah, there's a couple more things that we're gonna need. A fertilizer spreader. If we want to go do those contracts, we're gonna need a fertilizer spreader. We've got a couple options here. That one's $1,000. It'll hold 500 liters. This one's 3,000. It'll hold 1,500 liters. This one's 3,400, and it'll hold. Let me just look at this. at stock 1,000. Wow, for an extra 250 bucks, we could get the extension on there. 18-meter spread. I think we're gonna do this just because if we're gonna do contracts, this will pay for itself really quick. So we can spend a little bit extra cash on this to get a fertilizer spreader. And I think I'm going to do what I said and get us a baler to go do that baling contract. Now, balers are expensive, but I can get this one for 12 grand. This old Claus one for 12 grand. So that's not that bad of a deal. I think we get this, keep it all standard, nothing fancy to it. And now we're down to 50 grand. So the only thing that we got left, and I'm just going to kind of wait because I'm just going to kind of play it a little bit by ear. And just go into this. If we're going to plant wheat, we can wait till next month to get a seeder. Just in case something really amazing happens and it comes in the stores. Also, what we can do is we could plant some barley. And so even if we waited into October, we could wait a couple more months to see if anything good comes through the sales. And we could potentially buy that then. Worst case scenario, my plan is we will buy, where is it? It's up here. Seeders. This Massey Ferguson one right here. 12 grand. It'll seed and fertilize. It's only 95 horse to pull it. It'll work pretty good. The final thing that we might have to buy is something to deal with weeds. This is only 6 grand. This is only 12. Again, I kind of want to go do some contracts and just get a little bit of money coming in, but that's my, plan to deal with weeds if we have to. This requires 85 horse. This requires 60. Our tractor will pull it. And after that, like we don't really need a trailer. I can just use our little grain truck for now. We don't have a plow. We don't have a plow. We don't really have the horsepower to pull a plow, to be honest. We could get this guy, little 3-bottom plow, right? It's a 3-bottom. Maybe 1.2 meters wide is pretty gross. It would take some time. Ideally, I would like to get something like this, 17, but we need a little bit more horsepower even for that. Our only other option is maybe some sort of a subsoiler, but again, this thing's 1.2 meters wide. This one's 1.5, 2 meters, 90 horse. I mean, we could get something like that. 3 meters, 150 horse. That's kind of pushing it. So we could get this, or we could just live without plowing the field for a little bit. It's going to mess with our yields, but I mean, we're just going to have to do what we're going to have to do for right now, because we're also going to have to buy things like seed and fertilizer. So, okay, I'm going to just, what I'm going to do, I'll haul the fertilizer spreader back first, and then, oh, did I go on the wrong side? And then I'll come get the baler. Yeah, I'll come get the baler after, and maybe just go drop it off right at that field we're going to work at. Is this not the right side? Oh, that's the spreader. Yeah, okay. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I just spent a whole bunch of money, so I'm not thinking straight. There we go. There we go. Okay. Head back to the farm, and yeah, I'll bring you back in a little bit, and we'll go drag that baler to that field. I'm just pulling in here, but I was gonna go pull this down to get kind of set up to bale, but I figured I would just come back here first. Before, I actually kind of realized as I was driving away with the fertilizer spreader before I came back down here, but I bought a bag of fertilizer and put it in the spreader. And then I accepted one of the contracts down here. So then, yeah, I just went and grabbed that baler. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over and just at least I'm going to just test this out. I didn't fill this thing all the way full. One thing I kind of didn't think about, I was just kind of panic buying things. But I started to fill this and I was like, oh man, what if it's too heavy for this little tractor? Like it's not that big of a tractor, but it seems to hold it okay for being 60% full. That's one bag that we put in there. So I'm just going to kind of go see how this goes. I'll see how much I burn doing this one field, do like a little bit of testing, but And then once we're back, once I kind of just test out, I might go do a couple fertilizing contracts just to see how it all goes. And then we can always come back and kind of do some work on our own field here. I'm just going to kind of think and plan a little bit more and just make sure I'm not missing anything, or that I'm getting kind of the best plan together for this next year. I guess we don't know what we're going to be able to buy potentially in the stores. So it's going to be just a little bit of winging it. But I did accept fertilizing contract on field 12. That's where we're driving right now. And I accepted that contract, that big baling contract. And I'll probably end up either time lapsing that big baling field, or maybe just doing it off camera quick, because it's going to take a minute. That might be something I sit and kind of throw a podcast on or something for and get done. But at least that 32,000 will be, it'll be good. It'll be worth it. Even burning the fuel, it'll be worth it. I might have to get more like bale wrap and stuff like that, but again, it'll all be worth it, I think, in the end. The only other thing that kind of sucks with this tractor, and I'm not complaining because like it is what it is. I'm lucky we even had a tractor like this in the store, but it does drive a little bit slow. So going around field to field, it'll be a little bit of a pain. But I mean, this is day one at our new farm, right? It's day one. Let's just set a worker going on this and just see. Yeah, let's jump back up over to. Oh, interesting. Huh. You can like ride on this thing. Weird. Weird. Okay. Um, we're gonna have to get some fuel. I'm gonna come over here and put a little bit of fuel in our slip tank. Or I guess it's not really a slip tank, but our little tidy tank here. Oh, that's the wrong. Am I gonna be able to? Give me a sec here. Maybe I gotta close those doors. Might have to move this thing a little bit. Yeah, I might have to move this tank just slightly so that I don't. Because what I'm doing is I'm just turning on the lights here back and forth. It's not really. Yeah, it's not letting me do it. Okay, that's just something I can do. I can work on little stuff like that. That's not that big a deal. We'll move that, get that fueled up. Okay, I'm gonna do what I said. I'm just gonna kind of go do that fertilizing contract and just get everything squared away, make sure nothing weird is happening, and then I'll bring you back in a second. We'll just have a little bit of an update and kind of a better plan moving forward. But I think we're looking pretty good right now. All right, crew, we're just heading back into the farm here. I decided to. Okay, I'm gonna just hop out of this mode here and make sure nothing bad happens. We just finished up there, so I'm trying to take the back road into the farm here. Still kind of exploring everywhere and making sure we can get in these spots. But we did it. Okay, so we got two fertilizing contracts done. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Completed. Look at this. Collect. Thank you. Collect. Thank you. Okay. Okay. I don't know why it feels good to just make a little bit of cash, but it feels good to make a little bit of cash. You know what I'm saying? So let's go. I gotta figure out where we're gonna park all this stuff. Now, there's one more fertilizing contract that we can do, which I might do. Also, look at that combine fits in there. It barely fits in the shop here, but it fits. I'm just gonna back this thing in and drop it off. That spreader worked good. Spreader worked good. The tractor held it fine. No big deal whatsoever. I think I'm thinking we're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good so far. So what I am gonna do is hook onto this baler. Oh, and we got a baler. We can at least go bale and make some cash, which is good. Which is good. Now, what I'm gonna do, I have the big baling contract accepted. I did that just so it wouldn't disappear on us or anything. But I'm gonna accept this other little one, accept this contract just because it's right by the farm. I have to unfold this thing. Not too bad. We should have enough fuel to do this field. Yeah, we should have enough fuel to do this field here, which is pretty good. I think, again, I think we're doing pretty good. We got stuff that can make us money. We got stuff that can make us money. I can still do one more fertilizing contract after this, and we got that big baling contract. People are speeding around here, though. I better get off this road before we get hit. Okay, let's... These are some tiny little windrows, hey? Jeez. Let's see how this baler works. Sure I'm driving on the right road. Oh yeah, there we go. Nice. Nice, we got a baler. I'm so pumped. 12 grand's not too bad. So I'm thinking, I think what I'm gonna do is I don't know, I'm gonna think about this while I'm baling the other field and I bale this field. Oh, we gotta turn on automatic drop, that's my mistake. Kick that bale out. So I'm thinking what I might do is cut our one field in half and do half of it wheat. Well, no, I think I'm just going to do it in wheat. I think what I'm going to do is do our main field in wheat. I was thinking about cutting it in half and doing half of it in wheat and then doing the other half in like corn or something in the spring, or soybeans. I was thinking kind of more soybeans, but it doesn't really matter. I was thinking about doing that, so then maybe we could get two different types of harvest going, but we got to get more headers to do corn. I think for now my plan is I'm just gonna do wheat, and then next winter after we harvest we'll clear that field off, and hopefully after like a year of doing contracts and getting the pigs going and stuff like that, we'll be in a spot where we can slowly start working towards buying the pig feed mixer. So the pig feed mixer, excuse me, it's 50 grand. It's 50 grand, but then it'll create our own pig food, and it creates a lot of pig food for the amount that we have to put into it, if that makes sense. Which is going to be super beneficial, because obviously we want to get to the point where we have so many pigs that they're going to require tons of food. And so we need to be able to facilitate that. So I think, as I'm just even talking about it right now, my plan is going to be we'll do the field in wheat, then we'll do the field in soybeans or something like that, something with the planter, probably soybeans because we got a header to harvest that, and then we'll do the field in corn. And hopefully over the next couple of years we're able to get a corn header on sale, hopefully anyways, and at that point we'll just store everything in the silos, because we got those big silos there that'll hold more than enough grain than we need. We'll store everything in there. Once that third year's done, or that third season of harvest, we'll be able to have enough money that we can hopefully just buy that pig feed mixer, and hopefully at that point we can buy some sort of biogas or facility like that. So yeah, that's kind of my rambling plan. But what I think we're going to do here, we might as well start this series off and do a little bit of a time lapse of me baling the rest of this field. We'll get this all baled off, we'll get this contract done, we'll head back to the farm, and I'll move that slip tank around so that we can fuel this tractor up, and yeah, then we'll go from there. So let's do our first time lapse of this series. Oh, look at this tractor, just turns nice and sharp there. Unreal. Okay, yeah, let's do our first time lapse of this series, and let's get this field baled. Alright, I'm just heading back up to the farm now. Not too bad. We got that baled, or that field baled. Jeez, our field looks rough. That's okay though. That's okay. We'll take care of that field, no problem. We got a good plan now. I'm excited for our plan. I think it's going to work out pretty good. We also can do another fertilizing contract on that field to our left. And I'm just going to pull in here and I'm going to fuel this tractor up with a little bit of fuel. I'm going to hop out. Let's pull up here. I moved the fuel tank over here, as you can see. Let's shut this thing down. You know, this old tractor works pretty good. Working pretty good for us so far. Okay, we cannot afford to put 8,000 in. Maybe we'll do that. 1,000 liters. Fuel this guy up. Okay. So we're getting fueled up. Actually, before we start this thing, let's go in. Let's go to our contracts. Let's complete this one. Nice. I'm going to go back here. Okay, what else do we got? Fertilizing. Another fertilizing one. This one's worth 21,000. Whew. We'd need a lot of fertilizer for that one, though. Not bad, though. 18,000, but this is a square baler. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so what I'm going to do then... This one's right beside us. So I think I'm going to accept this one regardless, and then... Yeah, I'll probably accept this one, and we'll just kind of go from there. I'll kind of do that one off camera, I think probably a little bit, but I'll accept it so that we can do it. And I'll wait and see on that 21,000 one. We'll see how much cash we got. Okay, so we're back up to 60,000, just about 61,000. We bought a little bit of fuel. Yeah, not too bad. Not really looking too bad. I'm going to head down and I think I'm going to go do that baling contract now, which is going to take a little bit of time, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm going to go get that one done. Yeah, that'll take a little bit of time, but it is what it is. It's got to get done, and that's going to be a really good chunk of cash because we get that done, and that's going to put us, up to that $90,000 mark. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pay off a little bit of the loan. We're going to pay off a little bit of the loan, at least 5 or maybe 10,000 we'll put towards the loan, and then we'll go from there. Now, the last thing that we're going to have to, oh my god, the last thing that we're going to have to really buy is going to be a seeder. We can buy that Massey Ferguson one for 12 grand, and I'm still not going to do it. I'm not going to buy it until we sleep through a month, just in case something comes on sale, which I doubt it, but you never know. You never know. Might as well not rush it, and I still got to do some cultivating on that field anyways, so no need to rush. Okay. Like this. Where's my baling field? Oh yeah. Whoa. Sorry, team. Maybe we should pull over and let these people pass. Sorry, folks. We can only go 15 miles an hour. 15 miles an hour is what we shall do. But okay, I think I think that's gonna be pretty good for this very first episode. So if you haven't done so already, make sure and hit that like, make sure and hit that sub button, and drop me a comment below. Let me know what you think about this series. And I know it's only the first episode in, but let me know what you think about doing some pigs. If you got any ideas for this series, if you got any tips or tricks with pigs, let me know. Anything that you think could help out, or with slurry and the biogas plant, or things with their food. Maybe you get some tips and tricks of stuff that we could feed. We could feed those pigs before we're actually getting pig food going. Anything really would help, or even just drop a comment and say what's up. It's good to hear from everybody. I like reading the comments. I try to respond to absolutely everybody. I usually can get to everybody. If you're joining us back from other gameplay series, thanks so much for sticking with me. Appreciate it. I'm really excited about this gameplay series. I think it's going to be fun to do pigs and really just focus on slurry. I've never really tried to make tons of money from slurry and manure before, so I think that'll be kind of a fun little challenge. Plus, we've dug ourselves a little bit of hole, and it's kind of a fun grind to dig ourselves out. Just kind of a different little gameplay series than some of our other ones, which is always a bit fun. So thanks again so much for watching. Hope you guys have a good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever it is that you're watching this. I am the Ultra Farmer. Thank you so much. We'll be back. I'm going to be trying to do, at least two episodes a week for this specific series. So just keep your eyes peeled. I always got this series going, and we're going to be finishing up our Tassie Farms Dairy Empire series. So be on the lookout for that one as well. Thanks again, guys, so much. I'm going to get this field baled, even though it's going to take a while. And I'll see you on the next episode. On the next episode, we're going to buy pigs. We're going to get that field set, and we're going to start buying our first pigs. So make sure and don't miss that one. I'll see you guys on episode 2.